Club isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go.
Good morning, class. Today we're going to be discussing about the chapter 2 of the total quality management, and it is called the foundation of the total quality management. So first, I would like to share with you a company, called Texas Nameplate Company Incorporated, and it has a mantra of their company that it says, "Fear is useless. What is needed is trust." If I may repeat, fear is useless. What is needed is trust. In their company, actually, so they try to assess themselves, and then afterwards try to improve on what they see upon after evaluating their assessment. And they empower also the teams of workers, and then taking charge and deliver the product and services and making it into the maximum process of quality. So they coined it star quality. So the name in itself, star quality, connotes the maximum services and product that one industry could offer to its intended customers. Now, Texas Nameplate Company, actually, class, has given a very good performance of, uh, of countering their defects, or addressing their defects, from a nearly 4% to about 1% in 4 years. So it's a feat now for a company wherein they contained the defects of their production into that figure of almost 4% to 1% in just only 4 years. No? You could just imagine. Now, in the satisfaction rates in 5 areas uh, of employees, says that the most important exceed the national norms of the significant margin of what they are giving us as a figure, from the 4% down to 1% in just 4 years. So that's very much important as part of their performance rating. Now, quality profile number 2 is the Medrad. Medrad is a company also that actually has a culture of high performance given to their industry. Now, they wanted to delight the customers. No, they wanted to have and capture, the delightfulness of its customers by the systematic approaches that they are giving out and sharing to its customers. Um, and there's another one concept here that, according to Medward, the customer complaint process focuses on timely response. It's important for you to be able to address your customer immediately, upon receiving any complaints, any concern, and so on and so forth. And that's a very good response. That very good response would command a very good impressions coming from your customers. And with that, Medrad's overall net promoter ratings and scores, it is a loyalty. So when you say net promoter scores, it's a loyalty metric. Loyalty metric, meaning the level of repeat sales and referrals. In Tagalog, suki. Nagiging suki. Have been consistently about 60% or higher, as compared to, according to here, the 50% for other organizations, over the same period of time. So we're comparing it to the related industry. So they are ahead, by a large margin, perhaps. Okay, so that's a very good indication of a quality profile for Medrad. Later on, we'll be discussing about who has commanded the presence of the philosophers, the leaders, who conceptualizes and introduced, the concept of what total quality management is all about. And these are the leaders in the quality revolution. So we will be hearing names later on, the contributions of the following. So number 1 is W. Edwards Deming. Number 2, it's Joseph M. Juran. Number 3 is Philip B. Crosby. Number 4, Armand B. V. Feigenbaum. And number 5 is Kaoru Ishikawa. In the Deming philosophy focuses mainly on the improvements in a product and service. Now, the quality is actually reducing uncertainty and inconsistencies, and the variability in the design process of their product and services. It may be manufacturing, may be service, and any industry processes that is driven by the leadership of that particular company and the contribution of the top management level. In the chart that the book will be providing us, the Deming chain reaction would start from the upper part, which is improve quality. So when you say improve quality, we will be discussing that further as we go along. And then second Deming chain reaction is cost decrease, decreasing the cost of maintaining the operations of the company. Thus, productivity improves. That's the very essence of the chain reaction for Deming philosophy. And then increase market share with better quality and lower price. So that's Deming's. And by providing you with all these chain reactions, so definitely businesses would stay in business because profit will be robust, profit will be healthy. So therefore, if the company is gaining a lot of profits, a lot of good performance in the market, so therefore the continuing operations would be present, and then resulting to more jobs, offerings to those who needs them. Deming also shared the 14 points, concept. Now, number 1, he told us about creating and publishing a company vision statement and committing into it. So therefore, companies actually are led and being guided by its mission and vision. So therefore, it's not just only to be displayed in your office, but you will have to actually create some activities, and for you to be able to reach that goal and be led by it. So that is creating and publishing a company and committing, by its purpose of having the vision and mission. Now, Deming also shared to us that a new learnings, the philosophy, through seminars, through readings, through research are important also, for you to be able to come up with the new ideas. And the number 3 is understanding, the very essence and purpose of what the value of inspection is all about. Inspection not only in the process of service and product, but apparently in all the processes of the whole system of the stature of your business, from top to bottom, has to be inspected. And then, according to him, the end business practices, driven by price alone. What does it mean? So price is irrelevant, in terms of costings, because you price a particular service or product based on its face value, regardless of the price. So price is irrelevant in terms of giving essence to your market, giving essence and focuses mainly on the demographics of your product. For example, a bottle of Nature Spring water. If I'm going to buy it in Divisoria, how much will it cost me? So probably it's about 7 pesos to 10 pesos, let's say. But if I'm going to be drinking the same liter of water, Nature Spring, at the Shangri-La Makati, how much will it cost me? So that's the difference. So if you're talking about, prices being driven, by a certain demographics, really, that's true. But then apparently, it depends upon the market that you're catering to. So the Visoria to Shangri-La with the same product has different price points. Okay, and you know the answer why. So quality, presentation, convenience. So these are the things that would command a very good price points, for a particular related products. Now, Deming also shared to us in his Deming 14 points the constantly improving system of production and service. So how do you do that? No? So again, number one is benchmarking. Number two is identifying your market, the demographic market that you would like to cater. And then at the same time, research and development of your product are necessary for you to be able to come up with the right concept and the right formula to be engaged and produce and provide your customers. Now, institute learning, or rather training, so conferences, training, seminars. So these are the things that would warrant a very good concept, or a very good new concept, or new ideas in the process of running your business. Teach and institute leadership is number 7 for Deming's 14 points. So what does it mean? In the ranks, in the ranks of the workers in your office, you will see potentials. So once you see potentials in them, you try to hone, teach, and give an ample time for them to be developed further, and give them time, and give them a chance to shine, and do and introduce or provide learnings using their leadership skills. Drive out fear and create trust. When trust is a very good, it's a very big name. Trust is a huge concept of a wisdom. So definitely, as a businessman, you should be somehow, the element of trust to your men should be there, because they're your partners. They're your you should be trustful to them, because they led you into a lot of things that would command success for your company. Okay, so that's part of the 8 points, 14 points. Now, number 9 is optimize team and individual effort. So how do you do that? No man is an island. So there are talents in every individual, but then apparently it has to be validated through team efforts. If you're working in a company, so therefore you should be team part of the team. So there, team player. So you don't stand alone. But there are companies that actually is engaged in standing alone concept. But then partly it has to be validated and consulted. So therefore it will be in the form of a team. So there, optimize team and individual efforts. Now, 10 of the 14 points for Deming is eliminate exhortation for workforce. So there, when you say exhortation, now Deming also is sharing to us the system of profound knowledge. It's a big word again. So it's an appreciation for a system, according to him. So when you say appreciation for a system, is that having to know, having to appreciate, having to acknowledge what is in there by giving your interest into the appreciating the whole system of an organization. And then whatever there is, you should also understand and accept variation. So understanding variation is also part of the system of profound knowledge for Deming. And then another one, theory of knowledge. So therefore, you try to assess the knowledge and the concept that being shared to us by the experts. And the psychology, the psychology must be emotionally, you should be accepting of the resources and the knowledge that are being provided by you by these experts. The factors that affect the individual's employee performance are the following. So number one, it is being based actually by the training that they receive, the conferences that they attend, seminars and training that they are being exposed to the other concept to develop their notion about operations. And then the information and the resources provided by the industry, it should be in the transparent form for them to be able and available at most times, those information and resources that are needed in the improvements of their capacity to understand the operation of the company. And now the leadership of supervisors and managers should be manifesting. So meaning they were there, they were provided, they were promoted, in that position for because the company believes in their capacity to lead and supervise, the efficiency of the operations of the company. Now, avoid disruptions on the job. So what are these? For example, a manager determined that a particular equipment is actually not in top shape. So therefore, he will do a lot of things for him to be able to maintain it properly, because that's going to be a disruptions later on if you do not address them. So there, no. So disruptions of the job are to be, given emphasis also. Management policies and practices should be all that should be dynamic, should be on trend, should be as cases build up in different as it presents, it should be adaptable to whatever changes. Management policies and practices should be also amended accordingly. Systems are developed, for its function as has to be a cross-functional, meaning it has to be aligned with the other department. It has to be in cognizance. It has to have a purpose of having to help other departments. So part of a system must work together. So systems are being created for them to help out one another. There. And every system must have a purpose, definitely. So they are being created to actually function as such. So that's why, like the accounting department or a system wherein it is engages mostly in the finances, the financial operation of the business, from collection to vouchering to the disbursements and all of those things. Salaries and wages are being performed by that accounting system, financial system. Now, management must actually recognize and optimize the system as a whole. So he should recognize the existence of and the functions of that particular system, because each of the system were created for them to be able to aid the operations of the business. Variation is also part of the operation. So, and there are many uncontrollable variation that exists in every industry and in any process. So there's no consistency in any processes, but a lot of things are happening, and there are actually uncontrollable, events that somehow may face the operation of a particular industry or process. Now, any excessive variation with results for a product failure or the service failure, and resulting to a lot of things, like for example unhappy customers and a loss of causes, so a lot of things and unnecessary costs that would develop, as a result of it. Now, how can we counter this kind of variation? So there are lots of things, and number one in consideration is for you to come up with the statistical methods, to identify and more or less give you the right perspective on how this variation is coming along, the causes, and and help us understand and lead us to our conclusion for improvements. The proper analysis, the proper recommendations would come along, and then apply the necessary improvements. So that is how variation can be countered. Okay. One expert, Peter Schultes, a noted consultant, actually made a very good observation about how we understand failure. So where is it coming from, and the components of a profound knowledge. Now, what does it cost? A particular concept of not having to understand the profound knowledge and about things. Now, number one, when people don't understand the process in a system, and that would cause the failure, no, in the failure in the process. And then they see the event as individual incident, so it's human error is being given here, rather than the net result of many interactions and interdependent, no, in every process, and forces that would contribute in the efficient manifestation of a process, of an efficient process. They used and see the symptoms but not the deep causes of the problem. Remember, it's diagnostic, ano? So for you to be able to understand the right approaches in any challenges, you should try to assess and evaluate and analyze where is it coming from, what are the root causes of these challenges, of this problem that's coming up. No? So observe the symptoms, recognize them, and then eventually try to approach a very good solution for that. And then understand how an intervention can be part of an organization. When there is an intervention, definitely you try to observe and objectively assess the situation. And yeah, for you to be able to prevent, no, creating another havoc, creating another chaotic situation in a system. Knowledge is being earned through the theory. So therefore, knowledge is not possible, without being founded, by a particular theory, by theorists and philosophers and experts. And then experience alone cannot stand. It cannot establish, a theory. It only describes. Theory only describe what is, can be embraceable and can be adaptable. And a theory will show the cause and effects, the relationship of it, and can be used for future, for future evaluation of things as a prediction. What happens when the people actually doesn't recognize and don't understand variation? So this is what happened. First of all, they don't expect and see trends that are occurring at the present and in the future. So trends, trends are dynamic. They come. They're dynamics. They just it's a facts of life. The things changes. And then they see trends where there are none even. So sometimes you you over predict things. You're predicting trends that are not there actually. And it's not being present actually. And they don't know when expectations are actually realistic. So therefore, you're imagining things, something like that. So it happens, and they don't understand the process of change, and they resist, the process of change, and that's dangerous. So that's when people doesn't recognize and understand variation. The difference between the intrinsic and the extrinsic motivation is that intrinsic involves doing something because it personally rewarding to you. So you expect rewards coming from yourself. And then extrinsic, however, motivation is doing something because you want rewards. You want to be getting something out of it. And that is the psychology part. People are motivated on both concepts, intrinsically and extrinsically. Okay, and they are powerful, so both of them, specifically the intrinsic, very powerful. And fear actually is demotivating. Fear will not lead you into something. You should face your fears, be strong enough to face the challenges that are coming. And then managers should develop pride and joy in work. So therefore, work is not work if you're enjoying what you are doing. So because you're motivated enough for you to be able to dispense the work that are being delegated to you by the management. Now, let me introduce to you some of the philosophers. And number one is the Juran. So Joseph Juran. Joseph Juran has this philosophy, that I will be sharing. So he was born in 1904 and until the 2008. He is a Romanian by nature, and and he joined the company, Western Electric USA, in the early 20s, and as it pioneered in the development of statistical methods for quality. So he introduced the statistical method. So eventually he did most of the writing, editing, and publishing of the quality control handbook. Like Deming, his predecessor, he taught quality principles to the Japanese in the early 50s, right after the war, and was the principal force in the quality reorganization. In Duran's leadership, so directing quality from the senior management level were being adopted by the Japanese. And then the training, entire management is also part of his hierarchical quality of principles. So training the entire management, and then striving to improve, the quality is at the fast and revolutionary stage. So rate rather. So that is how he engaged, the concept, his concept and philosophy. And then Duran also reporting to progress on quality goals to executive level. So therefore, a proper communication process has to be engaged, according to Duran. And then involving the workforce in quality. So how? By conveying the right communication process, by conveying the right information and the processes, for it to work, efficiently. And then revising the reward and recognition structure to include even and emphasize on quality. So you will be rewarded based on the output that you will be giving into the company. So that is part of his concept. Now, the Duran philosophy also proposes a simple definition of quality. So what are these? Fitness for use. So this definition of quality is suggesting that it is both the combination of the external and internal perspectives of the definition. That is, quality is related to. So how? The product performance that results in customer satisfaction even. So even then, the customer satisfaction is giving emphasis to the performance of achieving the total management. And number two, the freedom from product deficiency. So when you have this freedom to a lot of defects, so therefore, you not only avoid the customer's dissatisfactions, but also contain the cost for the production of your company. So that is called the efficiency of process. Now, in Duran's, amongst the Duran's quality trilogy is the quality planning, quality control, and quality improvement. So these are the three quality trilogy in Duran's. Now, what is the breakthrough sequence? So number one is, for Duran's, breakthrough sequence is proof of the need. And then second is the project identification. And then third is the organization for breakthrough. And fourth, diagnostic journey. Number five is the remedial journey, and holding the gains for the last number 6. Okay, so first you determine what are the needs of your demographics, what are the needs of the market, and once you identify it, you now introduce some breakthroughs, some innovations, some improvements in your product, and then you now try to assess if there are problems on it, and there are some mishaps in the operation. So that's diagnostic. And then after that, determining the problems, the challenges, you now remedy. So these are the remedial journey that we're talking about. And then once you address all of these things, now gains, profit, and then you try to sustain it. That's holding the gains. Okay. What are needed as a proof of need? So number one, managers need to be convinced that improvements in quality are simply good economics. So how do you do that? So number one are the informations and data collection efforts. Information on poor quality, that is important for you to assess and understand. Information about low productivity even. So what causes it? information about poor service. And yeah, definitely, when you assess all of these factors, you definitely know the language of money. It's either a loss or a win. Now, but once you address it, it's a win, definitely. So the universal language of top management is simply request for resort to implement a quality improvement on every process and programs. Project identification is important in every process. So therefore, once you have, you have already recognized, no, the project identification. So participation in a project will definitely has to increase, and the likelihood of the participant will definitely result in the actions on the results. And once it is being provided, now the organization for breakthrough is coming along. Organization for improvement requires, no, a very stature and clear, no, responsibility for guiding, no, through and through in every step of the way the identified project. And this group, no, should provide the actual knowledge and definition and the agreement perhaps, or discourse or whatever is as to the specific aim of where the product is coming along. So that is the organization for breakthrough. Now, how do you, when you say diagnostic journey, no, to better understand it, diagnostician skilled in data collection is part of it. Statistic is also, yeah, to recognizing the problems and providing the solving tools, no, are clearly needed. And projects will require a thorough and full-time recognition and attention, no, and that is going to be handled by the one who's in charge on it. Most specifically, these are the experts. Now, once you determine, no, so those problems or those challenges, so the remedial journey is now at hand. So choosing a better alternative or an option that optimizes or cost-cutting measures is being engaged. So that is important, but you have to determine it. What is the less cost and more effective way of resolving this? So that is how we understand the remedial, no, journey. And then holding the case, no, establishing the new standards. No, so you earn new knowledge. You earn the new system that sustainable in the operation. So establish it, set a new standards and procedures. Now, training the workforce is another one. And yeah, giving a lot of a very good established institution for controls. And the breakthrough does not die over time according to the concept. You know? So therefore, it is going to be tantamount to the result of the operations of the company. Now, we have actually, yeah, I've already provided you with the first part of our yeah, of our second chapter discussion. So I will stop right now, and I would like to provide you with another concept by the next discussions that are coming along in our next meeting. So next meeting I will be discussing about the Crosby philosophy. So we have just finished Durant, Deming and Durant. So there, no. So class, thank you very much, and I'll see you again in our next session. Thank you.